thank God for Governor Abbott and Steve McCraw at the border, because they've been able, through DPS, through the state of Texas, show what's going on. And again, Department of Homeland Security, it has restricted most cameras along the border, interviews with agents. So if we didn't have the state showing that stuff, it would be completely different. Americans wouldn't know. But to your point about President Trump, no, you're exactly right. Utilizing social media to get the word out. And look, I've gone across the U.S. speaking with many families that have lost children to fentanyl. The Do It for Jack, Forever 15 Project. Lost Voices of Fentanyl. So, again, these families, what they ask for are people to just get the word out. They're looking for professional athletes to get the word out. And I think we will see President Trump get the word out and use some of those other athletes that much of our youth tend to follow on social media. So, I think we're going to see a turn in the fentanyl crisis as well.
I hope you're right, because it's been heartbreaking, the amount. It's over 200 people a day that are dying. So Texas, you mentioned Governor Abbott. Reportedly, Texas is looking at a plan that would ramp up the migrant bus program again. But this time, instead of sending them to sanctuary cities like New York, state officials want to ship illegal migrants directly to ICE holding centers so they can be quickly processed for deportation. Now, a federal appeals court is backing Texas, ruling Border Patrol agents cannot cut the razor wire fences installed on the southern border. That's a big win against the Biden administration, to be clear here, but which has also tried to remove these floating buoy barriers in the Rio Grande. So, Sheriff Cleveland, I do want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, a lot of thoughts there, Cheryl. So first and foremost, as you mentioned, with the win in the courts of cutting the barbed wire, that's great. Texas is going to continue to put barbed wire, continue to build fence until President Trump gets in office and then restarts that within the federal government. So we look forward to that. When you talk about the buoys, look, the Biden administration has fought harder against our own governor here in Texas than they fought against the cartels. They tried to say that the buoys were killing mussels in the river. I can take you to my portion of the border and show you dead mussels where only humans cross the river. And it's what's killing them is what's left behind by the illegal immigrants, whether it's trash and other bodily fluids, if you will. So no, we see a lot of positive coming here in Texas, and President Trump bringing that order and restoring that order here along the U.S.-Mexico border.
No, I think and immigration was the big issue, number two, right behind the economy, and why Donald Trump is coming back into office. So Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum held this phone call Wednesday. After the conversation, he posted on Truth Social that Sheinbaum was, quote, agreeing to stop migration through Mexico and into the U.S., effectively closing the southern border. But in her own post on X, she tries to clarify that phone call. And then, and this is the Spanish translation, she basically says migrants and caravans are taken care of before they reach the border. Taken care of. And then she reiterates Mexico's position not to close borders, but to build bridges between governments and between people. So he's posted he's planning to work on, again, that ad campaign, go after fentanyl. But how does he do that, Sheriff Cleveland, if Sheinbaum, who's brand new in her office, isn't necessarily in full agreement yet?
Well, Cheryl, that's kind of the dance, if you will. And I can guarantee you, just like under his previous administration, President Trump will get some cooperation at the border. First and foremost, we can't require Mexico to secure our border. We have to do it ourselves. But through being a master negotiator, President Trump will be able to bring Mexico back to the table. But with that being said, she's got to get out on social media to show her country that she's not going to bow down to America. But we know that, in fact, she's going to dance the dance with President Trump, and we will see their cooperation.
She's also got her own political allies and detractors in her own country. Michael Balboni's on set with me. He's got a question for you.
Hi, Sheriff, good to see you again. So how confident are you that even if Mexico comes to the table and says, yep, we'll help you, that given the strength and the power of the cartels, that she'll actually be able to work a real deal?
Hey, good morning, Michael. And to answer your question, look, when President Trump does come back in, he will also reignite those projects that we've utilized in the past, whether it's federal law enforcement agencies working with the government of Mexico, training Mexican Marines, or if it's the Department of Defense that also has a opportunity to work with the government of Mexico. We've had those programs before. They've been shut down under this administration.
You mean the military sheriff? Are you talking about the military sheriff? I'm just curious.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have our own Department of Defense that also work with various military components within Mexico. And it's not to go in there and actually get their hands dirty. What they do is they train the different forces in Mexico. We also assist with training. DEA assist, ICE assist. So when we bring that component back to help, with intel development, with training of their soldiers, it will also increase the security of not just Mexico, but here as well. And then I'm sure we'll see President Trump bring in other projects and programs that will help strengthen Mexico.
Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland. Sheriff, it's always great to speak with you about this issue. So much we hope is going to happen in a positive way on the U.S.-Mexico border. Thank you, sir.